What if I told you that chess shares surprising similarities with roguelike games? Just like navigating a dungeon filled with unpredictable challenges, each chess match offers a unique battle of strategy and chance. In this episode, we'll explore how these two worlds collide and what players can learn from their interconnections, enhancing both their chess skills and game design thinking. When we talk about chess as a roguelike game, we need to start by defining what roguelikes are. At their core, roguelikes are a subgenre of role-playing games characterized by procedural generation, permanent death, and turn-based gameplay. Games like Road and The Binding of Isaac come to mind. When you play a roguelike, each playthrough is unique, featuring randomly generated levels, items, and enemies. You start from scratch every time, and any mistakes can lead to failure. So, how does chess fit into this model? The most direct connection lies in the concept of approach. While chess does not typically feature the same level of randomness inherent in roguelikes, like the procedurally generated dungeon layouts, it certainly embodies a form of strategic permadeath. If a piece is captured, it's gone for the rest of the game. Moreover, more seasoned players might find that each new game presents a unique context and tactical challenges. Similar to how each run in a roguelike develops its narrative, let's explore the structure of chess a bit deeper. The board itself is static, an 8x8 grid with designated squares. However, just like roguelikes toss you into unpredictable environments, chess offers myriad possibilities. Each game begins identically. However, as moves unfold, the unique paths and potential outcomes can branch exponentially. In chess, this means that while the starting point is the same, the outcomes are influenced by individual player tactics and strategies. For example, consider the opening moves. There are countless openings, each with its own theory and tactical strengths. The famous Sicilian defense offers a black player response that aims to counter white's early advantage. Choosing an opening is much like selecting your character class in a roguelike, each choice impacting your playstyle and strategies going forward. Let's delve into the aspect of permanent death or loss in chess. In roguelikes, when you die, you reset with nothing, learning through gradual mastery. In chess, when you lose a piece, that loss can be catastrophic, sometimes leading to an immediate disadvantage. A knight captured can drastically shift your offensive capabilities. Losing the queen can feel like losing your strongest weapon in a game, just as your character might lose their most powerful item in a roguelike. This introduces a fascinating layer of decision-making. How aggressive do you want to be while balancing the risk of losing your key pieces? Another parallel exists in the concept of adaptation. In roguelikes, especially classic ones, players need to adapt to the enemies and obstacles presented within each run. This aspect is mirrored in chess through the responses to an opponent's moves. With each turn, you must reassess your strategy based on your opponent's decisions and pieces on the board. An adaptive player might even transform their strategy mid-game, akin to how a gamer would modify their approach based on the items acquired or obstacles encountered in a run. Now let's discuss the aspect of randomness versus calculation, a central theme in both chess and roguelikes. A hallmark of roguelikes is the randomization that keeps each playthrough fresh. In chess, we traditionally think of it as purely strategic and deterministic. However, luck can occasionally play a role. If your opponent makes an unexpected mistake, or if you capitalize on an overlooked opportunity, you can shift the tides of the game with a single maneuver. Many players believe that chess is a game of perfect knowledge since all the information is available from the start. However, the surprising element lies in the psychological warfare that permeates high-level chess. While both players know all the pieces and their positions, the unpredictability of tactics and mind games reflects a form of randomness. Just as you may find yourself facing a challenging boss character in a roguelike, chess players may find themselves countering an innovative approach that requires them to think creatively on their feet, often leading to unexpected and thrilling outcomes. Now let's incorporate the resource management aspect found in roguelikes. In many roguelikes, players must make choices about which items to take and which to leave behind, constantly evaluating risk versus reward. In chess, each piece serves a functional role. Each has its own value and limitations. The rook, for example, can control entire ranks or files, while the bishop excels on diagonals. Understanding how to effectively utilize your resources can determine the outcome of the game. If we draw a direct analogy, we can liken the different chess pieces to items in a roguelike. The queen can be considered your most versatile item, akin to a Swiss Army knife. It can move in multiple directions, wielding extraordinary power on the board. Losing it can feel like losing one of your last health potions during a critical boss fight. Meanwhile, pawns are more situational, like common items that only shine under specific circumstances. They might be weak individually, but when used correctly, they can lead to a checkmate. One common gap in understanding between chess and roguelike elements is that many may not see the long-term planning inherent in both. In a traditional roguelike run, every choice you make can affect the later stages of the game. The same is strongly true in chess. A move in the early game can set a player up for a potential victory or backfire spectacularly later on. For example, developing minor pieces and controlling the center early in a chess game gives you leverage that can pay off in the middle and end game. A less experienced player might overlook this cosmic significance of early decisions, leading to a straightforward loss, much like a player might face overwhelming odds in a roguelike due to ill-considered early item choices. Now, let's touch upon the fierce debate around skill repetition. In roguelikes, players often explore various runs, grappling with failure only to refine skills during successive attempts. Chess, similarly, emphasizes skill acquisition and repetition. High-level players often train through extensive tactics puzzles, honing their calculation abilities the same way roguelike players might devise new strategies for boss fights based on previous experiences. Interestingly, chess even contains a degree of inherent unpredictability, fueled by its extensive depth of theory. The sheer volume of opening strategies means even seasoned players can face an opponent who executes an unexpected line of play, requiring immediate creativity and tactical prowess. This can give the illusion of randomness, akin to unexpected enemy encounters in roguelikes. For newer players, there's often a misconception that chess is a linear game with a singular pathway to victory. However, the ability to think laterally and assess situations, similar to staying adaptable in roguelikes, is crucial. This dynamic adaptability is where the nuance truly lies. It's one thing to know the theory of an opening. It's entirely another to pivot in the moment when things don't go as planned. Furthermore, community engagement plays an interesting role in both chess and roguelikes. Many players gather to discuss strategies, share experiences, and examine past games. This collaborative aspect is an essential part of both worlds and can deepen one's understanding. Chess clubs often analyze games together or use software to review matches, similar to how roguelike players discuss game tapes to identify successful tactics or integrate newly discovered exploits. An interesting layer is added when considering chess engines using artificial intelligence. These engines analyze games, revealing strategies and ideas beyond the capacity of human players. While this might introduce a sense of understanding akin to gaining item knowledge in roguelikes, knowing what you need to progress, it also brings a new depth to the psychological battle usually woven through chess. The introduction of analysis tools can be likened to special items or artifacts in roguelikes, giving players an edge that wasn't available before, while often raising new ethical questions about gameplay style and competitive integrity. Overall, viewing chess through the lens of a roguelike game creates an invigorating framework that emphasizes tactical variability, strategic depth, and the necessity of mental flexibility. While chess may initially seem rigid and traditional, it captures the essence of roguelikes through its complexity, adaptability, and the intrinsic learning process, a range of factors that keep players coming back for more. The interplay mirrors the experience of tackling different roguelike runs. Each match can feel like starting anew, offering fresh challenges and needing mastery over both long-term strategies and immediate tactical responses. As we continue exploring the relations and differences between chess and roguelikes, we can dive into specific examples of famous games or matches that embody these principles. One notable match that illustrates our argument is the famous World Championship game between Garry Kasparov and Anatoly Karpov in 1985. This match stood out for its intense psychological battle and strategic maneuvering, akin to a roguelike game where each player would adapt and respond to the other's moves. In Game 16 of that World Championship, Kasparov played the Sicilian defense, inviting Karpov into a complex position where the risk-reward dynamics shifted dramatically. It was not merely a case of playing the best moves, but rather about navigating through layers of potential catastrophe and opportunity, resonating well with a roguelike setup. Karpov had to constantly adapt his strategy as he encountered unexpected tactics from Kasparov, much like players navigating through challenges, adapting their approach based on evolving circumstances. The concept of adaptation in chess parallels the item and encounter unpredictability in roguelikes. Just as players might improvise with the random items they encounter during their journey, elite chess players must be ready to adjust their strategies on the fly based on their opponent's surprising choices. Here, the ability to read an opponent and anticipate moves plays an integral role, similar to unraveling the potential of each randomly generated item in a roguelike. Looking at the Grandmaster level, the contrasting styles between players can evoke parallels to the character classes in roguelikes, each with their unique strategies. For instance, consider the dynamic playstyle of aggressive players like Mikhail Tal, who often embraced risk-taking approaches, versus the more methodical and defensive tactics of players like Vladimir Kramnik. Tal's daring sacrifices can be seen as pushing for faster access to fuels or strategic advantages, much like how a player in a roguelike would press for high-risk, high-reward items to speed through a dungeon. These variations serve to keep each game fresh, much like how roguelikes offer distinct gameplay experiences through unique character builds and item synergies. The experience in chess reflects a constant reassessment tucked into every movement, similar to being faced with a choice between different power-ups in a roguelike. Another famous example is the 1997 match famously known as Deep Blue versus Garry Kasparov. This encounter brought artificial intelligence into the public eye, highlighting the competition between human intuition and machine calculation. Here, Kasparov faced an overwhelming challenge, much like a player confronting particularly difficult enemies that are somewhat outside their control in roguelikes. Deep Blue represented a rogue adventurer of sorts, equipped with vast knowledge, optimization capabilities, and an ability to explore complexities far beyond a regular game's landscape. The evolving strategies employed by both Kasparov and Deep Blue created an environment where each had to learn from the other almost in real time, akin to how players develop new strategies based on the ever-changing geometry of roguelike maps. The interplay of human intuition and machine precision could be viewed as an exploration of power dynamics between conventional play and algorithmic chaos. In the same vein, roguelikes often introduce rare enemies or items that provoke unique encounters, pushing players to master entirely new mechanics. This aspect of chess, where both parties must weigh known tactics against novel circumstances, illustrates the mercurial nature of a roguelike adventure. Just as players traverse through dungeons, accumulating knowledge about what items work together effectively, chess players compile experiences from countless games, developing a mental database that helps them recognize patterns and trends in strategies over time. Another fascinating point is the nature of preparation in chess compared to roguelikes. Professional players spend extensive hours preparing for opponents, uncovering potential weaknesses, and building contingency plans. They might examine previous games, look for weaknesses in an opponent's style, or study specific openings that could give them insights, akin to gathering intel on enemies before deciding how best to approach them in a roguelike. In roguelikes, players can similarly scout areas or learn enemy patterns, leveraging this knowledge for an effective path forward. The blend of foresight and adaptability forms the backbone of strategic development, whether preparing for a chess match or embarking on an unpredictable dungeon run. Diving deeper, we can look at the concept of clutch moments in chess, where players face pivotal junctions that demand immediate decision-making. A famous example is the so-called Deep Blue blunder during the first game of the 1997 match, where Kasparov made a move that confused the AI, resulting in a misstep by Deep Blue. This incident evokes a compelling parallel to roguelikes, where moments of great danger can often yield unexpected outcomes, giving rise to a kind of clutch factor. Players might come across a powerful enemy or a trap-laden room and must harness both skill and strategy in these moments to either triumph or ultimately succumb. Understanding the weight of these decisions can mean life or death in a run, whether in the world of chess or a rogue dungeon. In both instances, the player or participant transforms as they learn from mistakes and accumulate wisdom from past experiences, an essential aspect of progress, be it through a chessboard or procedurally generated levels. Chess, much like roguelikes, is a game of puzzles and problems, requiring observation, calculation, and ultimately, creativity. A study of famous chess compositions where sacrifices lead to checkmate or decisive positional advantages echo the need to manipulate limited resources in roguelikes for advantageous effects. An iconic study by the composer Gregor Piatigorsky, called The Immortal Game, is a perfect illustration. In it, white sacrifices almost every piece to force a checkmate against the black king. Such moments are the chess equivalent of reaching a crucial item in a roguelike, an opportunity to turn the tide against overwhelming odds, showcasing creativity in maneuvering through severe constraints. We can see how successfully executed gambits in chess evoke the crafty positioning of characters seeking to exploit enemy weaknesses in roguelikes. Both scenarios compel players to balance risk and reward continuously, adapting strategies to outsmart opponents or navigate through the intricacies of a game world. As we explore more unmatched moments from chess history, we can find endless examples where the thrill and tactics resonate within our roguelike metaphor. This ongoing relationship demonstrates how games, regardless of form, ultimately share core mechanics rooted in strategy, adaptation, and competition. Let's explore one final chess encounter that blends all these principles effortlessly: the legendary 1972 World Championship match between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. This highly publicized event showcases Fischer's transformative strategy that led him to a profound victory. His introduction of the Sicilian defense shocked conventional expectations, resembling a player who discovers an extraordinary item in a roguelike that redefines the terrain of the entire campaign. Fischer's adaptability in changing the direction of the match serves as a reminder of the unexpected twists and turns often found in rogue-inspired narratives. This was evident in the final game, where Fischer's unique approach overwhelmed Spassky and marked a notable shift in chess culture and tactics. As we unpack and characterize the distinct elements of chess that mirror roguelike principles, we can begin to format a larger understanding of competitive gaming. Each encountered challenge and the potential for discovery drives engagement in both chess and roguelikes, a shared passion for creative strategic thought. The narrative conveyed through conflicts, adaptations, and the ongoing pursuit of mastery forms a bridge between distinct gaming worlds. Further exploration may reveal how storytelling, player agency, and evolving mechanics intertwine throughout these types of games, encouraging players to become adept storytellers in their own right. Moving forward, we will delve into the scientific underpinnings of why tactics arise in both realms, examining the cognitive parallels drawn from strategy and player psychology. We'll explore how each contributes to the recurring themes of competition and personal development experienced across various gaming formats. This analysis aims to deepen our understanding of the rich tapestry shared by chess and roguelikes, enhancing both the gaming experience and broader cultural appreciation. As we wrap up today's episode, we've drawn fascinating parallels between chess and roguelikes, highlighting how both involve strategic decision-making, unique player experiences, and the concept of permanent loss. While chess lacks the randomness of roguelikes, its complex branching paths and tactical depth create an ever-evolving narrative that mirrors the challenges faced in games like The Binding of Isaac. If you want to go deeper, consider these options. Explore different chess openings and analyze how they shape a game's trajectory, much like character classes in roguelikes. Try out online platforms that offer roguelike-inspired chess variants to experience this unique blend firsthand. Read up on the psychological aspects of gameplay, focusing on how strategic thinking and adaptability are key in both chess and roguelikes. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, whether on the chessboard or in a pixelated dungeon, the adventure lies in every choice you make. This podcast was generated by AutoIntellect's Podcaster Generator AI. To generate your own podcasts, check out autointellect.org, linked in the channel.